When my mom died, something inside me broke that words couldn't reach. It wasn't just sadness. It was silence. The kind that wraps around you, makes every heartbeat sound like an apology. My husband Aaron, tried to be strong. He cooked, cleaned, answered calls. He told people I was doing okay. But he didn't see me crying in the shower at 3 a.m. or sitting on the floor of my mother's closet, pressing her old sweater to my face just to smell her again. At first I thought he was grieving too. He'd been close to her. She called him son. But soon his hugs became shorter. His eyes stopped meeting mine. I'd ask, "Are you okay?" He'd nod, just tired. But what I didn't see was that tired was becoming his escape word. His way of slipping away before the truth could catch him. I used to believe that tragedy brings people closer, that when you lose someone, love becomes stronger. But I was wrong. Because the night I lost my mother, I also lost the man I thought would never leave me. My name is Evelyn, and this is the story of how grief revealed the truth hiding in the man I loved. It started in the hospital. Machines beeping, sterile light cutting through the dark. My mother's hand felt cold in mine. A kind of stillness that no heartbeat could follow. Marcus stood behind me, his hand resting on my shoulder. Silent, distant. He said the right words. "She's at peace now." But there was something missing. Something hollow. I wanted him to hold me. To say, "We'll get through this." Instead, he checked his watch. Said he had a meeting in the morning. That night, I watched the world end. And he fell asleep beside me like nothing had changed. The days after the funeral were a blur. Grief is strange. It makes you slow and sharp at the same time. Every sound hurts. Every silence screams. He stopped coming home early. Stopped asking if I'd eaten. Stopped seeing me. I told myself, he's grieving too. Give him time. But deep down, I felt it. Something inside him was already gone. Then one morning, I found an envelope on the kitchen table. No note, just his wedding ring inside. My hands shook so hard I almost dropped it. When I called, his number went straight to voicemail. A text came an hour later. "I can't do this anymore, Evelyn. I'm sorry. Please don't look for me." That's how he left. No goodbye. No reason. Just emptiness. I sat on the floor for hours, staring at the door like he'd walk back through it. But the only thing that entered that room was the echo of my mother's voice, the one that used to warn me, "Don't build your world around a man who treats your love like furniture." She was right. He'd gotten comfortable, and when the storm came, he simply walked out. Days turned into weeks. I couldn't eat, couldn't paint, couldn't breathe without feeling abandoned. Then one evening, a friend called, said she'd seen Marcus, laughing. Dinner, with another woman. For a moment, I went completely still. Grief and betrayal collided. And that's when I found it. An envelope, tucked between his old tax papers and a stack of receipts. My name written in his handwriting, but not quite steady. I opened it. Inside was a letter, short, unfinished. "Evelyn, I didn't mean for it to end like this. I just felt trapped. Everything changed after your mom passed. You changed. Maybe I did too. I thought I wanted freedom, but now I don't even know what that means anymore." No apology. No explanation that could undo what he'd done. Just confusion and cowardice. I stared at that letter until the ink started to blur from my tears. And in that moment, something inside me shifted. I wasn't the broken one anymore. He was. Because I could live with pain. But he couldn't live with truth. Months turned into nearly a year. I rebuilt quietly, piece by piece. I sold the house. Moved into a smaller apartment near the lake my mom loved. I started writing again. At first just thoughts. Then memories. Then chapters. It wasn't about Marcus anymore. It was about me. The woman learning to breathe without permission. The daughter honoring her mother's strength. The human learning that sometimes losing someone is how you find yourself. And just when I thought I'd finally made peace with the past, The past showed up at my door. It was raining, again, just like that night. And when I opened the door, Marcus was standing there. Same coat, same eyes, but smaller somehow. He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. Maybe he had. Because the woman he left behind no longer existed. "Evelyn," he said softly, I shouldn't be here." I just looked at him, waiting for the lie that would come next. He ran a hand through his hair. "I heard about your book," he continued. "I read some of it online. You wrote about us." I nodded. "I wrote about the truth." He smiled faintly, that same smile that once melted me. Now it just felt unfamiliar. "I didn't realize how much I'd hurt you until I saw myself through your words," he said. "I came to say I'm sorry. I know it doesn't change anything, but—" I interrupted him. "It doesn't," I said quietly. "But I appreciate it." There was a pause. A heavy one. Then he looked past me, into the small apartment that held the life I'd rebuilt without him. "You look happy," he said. "I am," I whispered. And for the first time, I meant it. He nodded, eyes glistening, then turned to leave. And as he stepped off the porch, I felt something release inside me. Not anger, not longing, just peace. Because closure isn't always a conversation. Sometimes it's a doorway closing quietly behind someone who no longer belongs in your story. That night, I sat by the window, watching the rain slide down the glass. And I realized I wasn't crying anymore. My mom once told me love doesn't die. She was right. It just becomes a memory, a lesson, and a reason to never settle for anything less than honesty again. My name is Evelyn, and this was the night I finally stopped waiting for him to come back.